Hello, everybody. Hello, CCS fans. I am so happy to be here today and say hello to you. I'm back. It's Elsa the Queen back on CCS, and I'm joined here by Oshi to do some color casting for you today. I'm going to be back to my tried and true roots as a play-by-play caster, and I'm really excited to be here for the first time on the stream with Oshi. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. We gotta clear the air for people a little bit. It's our first time on stream, but we have done this before.
True. Yeah, we're professionals, of course. We've
Of course.
we've got the practice, we've got the experience, for sure. But
I mean,
as we're yeah,
once
true.
isn't really
I was just trying to I was trying to just follow you. I was like, okay, we're talking ourselves up here. All right, but all right, not that much. We're being realistic. Um and speaking of being realistic, we are waiting a couple minutes to get into the draft, but actually, don't worry at all because this is an amazing opportunity for us to talk a little bit about the teams that we have for you today, which we haven't even mentioned yet. We've got Nameless Love Stage back on the CCS stream once again. This week, they're going to be taking on MNG Raijin Storm, who is 1-1 alongside Nameless as well. And just as a little bit of an introduction, we are going to take a look at a team composition that MNG Raijin Storm did run in their last matchup against ZMG Frost. That was 2 weeks ago. And we're looking at it in the ProComp's Comp Builder tool, which we featured last week as well here on the CCS stream. And Oshi, looking at this team comp here from MNG that they played last week. Well, first of all, because I think you don't know, I want you to I want you to give me your impressions, and I want you to guess whether or not they won or lost this game.
Initial impression on this incredibly strong team fight potential, wonderful AoE, good engage options, not the greatest disengage options. Really only have I guess no, that's not true. Janna's in there with Cassiopeia ult as well. Getting sorry, looking at the in-game chat and they're laughing at us for talking about them on stream. Um, no, honestly, I like the comp in the overall. It's got wonderful potential, good strength. You don't see a lot of Cassiopeia. In my opinion, you don't see enough Cassiopeia anymore. One of my favorite characters, or enough Gnar. I think Gnar is an underplayed top laner in the platinum level that we see this at, especially. There's been a lot of games where Gnar would have been a wonderful counter pick and hasn't been chosen. Just because, playing around the rage to be able to get the Mega Gnar out on time and properly lined up for a team fight isn't always the easiest thing. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of communication. Under the assumption that they were able to pull off their ultimates and their abilities properly, keep that Twitch protected, keep them alive, let them get the couple picks to really get the items online, I would definitely have to say that they won that game, not knowing what the other comp was.
Well, I am going to have to let you know that you were right. They did win that game, and in fact, it actually was a 2-0 victory last week 2 weeks ago for MNG Raijin over CMG Frost. But that was the last time that we have seen that particular team because it looks like they did reschedule their week 3 matchup. But I was just going to go here and look at the little bit more advanced details here because you talked a little bit, Oshi, about the importance of keeping that Twitch protected and making sure that he is able to get things done. And this is so fun. Well, anyways, they obviously they won, so like they did make it happen. And I think when you were talking about the Gnar, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying as Gnar definitely an underplayed champion at this elo. I think that actually a lot of people are in agreement that Gnar is actually one of the strongest champions in the entire game, just because it's such a strong blind pick with the mini Gnar range form in the laning phase as well. So when you were talking about kind of the reliability of the engage, it doesn't have the reliability of something like an Ornn pick. But at the same time, you get kind of that benefit on the other side. And yeah, it was 6-1-3 for Epic Fail Guy on the Twitch, and then actually fishing for Pyke on the Janna 1-0-14. Also, can I just say one of my favorite parts about this team composition is that I don't expect the player fishing for Pyke to be a Janna player. That's not something that I would expect. But actually,
who
go ahead.
would you expect them to play? Elsa.
Maybe another hook champion or something like that. But it turns out it looks like that they played Tahm Kench, Lulu, Janna, and Karma in CCS. So definitely pivoting away from that Pike, which is their most played. But that's neither here nor there. Um, just one last thing that I did want to touch on, just regarding the Pro Comps tool, was that there's an awesome new feature actually that was recently just added, I believe, just this week, that you can see on the tool there on the bottom right. They also have a live support now, so if you're having any
Ooh.
issues with the Pro Comps, tool, which you shouldn't because the interface is extremely clean, they've got that support ready to go for you there. So it looks like we're still waiting just a little bit. Maybe
So we're
gonna have
missing
an
two.
additional sub coming in. Not exactly sure. But yeah,
Well,
I mean
I gotta
go ahead.
say, with when you have something like a live support system put in, and it's almost surprising to the people that use your system, that use your product, no matter what it happens to be. In this case, like a web app, when you throw in live support and people going, "Wow, I didn't think that was needed." It says a lot.
True. It's true. Yeah, it is actually true. Absolutely. And I guess we can use this time to talk a little bit too about kind of the implications of this series
Oh
overall.
yeah,
If people do not know, we can here. Actually, why don't I? If we can maybe pull up the standings here. I can also. I'm sending my producer just the where he would want to look for that. But looking at the standings right now, actually both of these teams are tied for fourth
yeah.
right now, sitting right in the middle of the pack. Like I said, both of them have a match that's rescheduled, so they're sitting at 1-1, and they're both actually 2-2, which is kind of interesting. Both of them blew out one series 2-0 and then lost another one really badly 2-0. So kind of a tale of two teams showing up, I guess, on those respective days for this team. So this matchup in the middle is really important as far as playoff implications.
Yeah, it almost makes it really interesting when you consider the fact that they have delayed games as well, right? So it's not just immediately important right now. This could also kind of become a big momentum builder for them in their delayed games that are going to be coming up in between other games. You know, a team you kind of get used to. Okay, we play Wednesdays. That means we play once a week. We've got this much time to practice and these days for this and that. And suddenly you have to throw away one of those days. It could be a wind down day or practice day for another set of games at could be totally make or break for your playoff appearance. So even just this one kind of it becomes a big buildup. So really, I mean, I always want to see 3 games. I always do. But in this situation, so do both teams. Because even if you do lose, it's better to lose 2-1 than get swept.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Nameless Love Stage coming into this game, having Love Stage as a team, having gotten acquired by Nameless as an organization just a
Hmm.
week ago, and it does seem like in addition to what's going on right now, with a little bit of a delay we're having going on, they have had a kind of quite a few roster shakeups. They haven't run the same roster from week to week since the start of the CCS split. So even though they did win that week one with sort of what may have been their intended roster, they lost their week three matchup, and now they come into week four with a little bit more difficulties in that regard. So that's definitely going to be a big stumbling block for them to overcome. But with that being said, they do have a pretty high average rank at the very least. So the players they've ended up running. Both of the
Yeah.
2 weeks that they have shown up. So, they do have just sort of a good amount of experience, and they also have run a lot of players who have a lot of experience in competitive play specifically.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. It's something we don't talk about a whole lot is the fact that every team has that D3 exception, right? They can have that one player that is on the diamond side, and when you look at these two teams, MNG Raijin doesn't have one. They don't have that D3 exception in any of their players. They are all plat, and in some situations, when you look at the ranked, actually no, I believe there are. Yeah, there's one gold. Or is that sorry, is that gold on the side of Nameless? I'm looking at the
Yeah,
wrong team
the
there. That's
support on
Nameless, yeah.
Islamic Samurai's Gold is actually a very pretty well-known player, known for actually being a pretty decent player as far as I know. So a little bit of an exception to the rank thing, like I've
It's
specifically just heard him talk about, but your point absolutely stands for sure.
It's always different. Like, I'm a support main myself, and getting into Plat as a support main is hell.
Right.
Getting through Plat is even worse. I played seasons 1 through season 9, and I peaked at Plat 1. That's it.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly difficult, but getting into the bands,
Okay.
uh,
Okay. Yep.
you'll notice we have a lack of bands going on the side of Nameless here. Why don't you walk us through that?
Yeah, so due to a situation with a ruling that we had based on just a roster sort of situation that was going on with Nameless Love Stage last week, they did lose a couple of bands, and then they also have an E sub coming in as well. So that means that they do just have that one ban in the second stage remaining, but we also are into the picks because the bans went so fast. We got three junglers banned away from Love Stage.
Mhm.
Sivir picked up first pick, and then it is going to be Twitch and a Pike hover. We'll see what it is locked in. Maybe it'll be a support alongside the Twitch in the bot lane.
So, of course, we expect Pike picked if he's open. They were jokingly complaining in chat between the two teams that Pike is permabanned, ergo never gets to play it. Also joked because there's no bans that he wouldn't pick it. Stands by his word, goes for the Janna. This is what we were talking about in the composition we saw last time. Twitch Janna being able to keep the Twitch alive, let him get online, get those big spray and praise. It's what you love to see in terms of a bot lane duo.
Absolutely. And I think, kind of to speak to what we were just chatting about, Oshi, with the difficulty of climbing in solo queue on support. If you're
Hmm.
going to be playing support in solo queue, you're going to be playing things like the Pike, champions that can actually get those kills and kind of pick up that gold to snowball games. But when you're in a competitive setting, you can trust your teammates. That's a situation where something like Janna makes a lot more sense, and it's, a lot more satisfying to play. I actually think Janna is a really strong champion right now, but it will be paired against another ranged pick in this Renata Glosk, which will come through for Islamic Samurai in the support position. Renata, typically thought of as sort of a counter to some of these engaged supports, doesn't do quite as well against range champions like Janna, but does always provide that engage with her ultimate. As well as the root, and that is going to be very useful with the Diana coming through, possibly for the jungle.
If Islamic Samurai can get proper positioning, I see Renata as having the potential to be a very hard counter to Twitch. Namely, because when you hit them with the ultimate, that Twitch is going to turn, and that spray and pray is going through his entire team instead of yours.
True. Yeah,
Coming
absolutely.
in jungle wise, though, Diana also an incredible pick against the Twitch, being able to just say, forget your back or forget your front line, I'm in your back line. Janna's gonna have to be right on top of their game because that Diana doesn't care. She'll kill both of you. And Kane, same kind of premise. I mean, Raijin Storm really looking to build this kind of we're coming at you sideways team rather than a face to face front to back fight, which is what Silver really thrives at.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And Sivir, recently being sort of, not reworked completely, but a lot of changes to her damage. Still a very, very strong scaling champion back onto that crit kind of style. And as we see the Poppy ban coming through, that one is a little bit interesting for me. Poppy right now pretty much exclusively being seen in the jungle, so would indicate that maybe there could be somewhere else that Diana could be headed. I believe Haman Karn, which is the sub in the jungle coming through here for Nameless Love Stage, did run or does have some solo queue games on Diana, pretty typical champion to play. But the Camille being banned away as the top played champion from Top Dream makes sense, as they will likely blind pick the top laner here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough situation for that. There's one band that I'm interested that didn't go through. I'm just double checking why. I'm making sure that the players that I think are playing are the ones that actually are here, and that's why the ban didn't happen. Their normal top laner, Basting or Basting, depending on
Yeah.
how you want to pronounce it, is a disgusting Aatrox player. No Aatrox ban came through because he's not here.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, I believe last week I was casting Nameless Love Stage last week as well over on CCS2 with the Raichains, and I think that we definitely saw that one banned out. But yeah, Basting not here for this game one. Instead, it is Wupong
Wukong.
in instead. And speaking of Wupong as a sub, it's going to be the Mordekaiser locked in. Could be for the jungle, but also usually often seen in the top lane at go into this Gwen and Oshi. I have been a huge Gwen player recently, and this is one of the few matchups that actually competes with it in lane. But mid
Yeah,
lane pick
it's
coming up here too. So
the biggest thing that Mordekaiser provides that most other melee champions in the top lane doesn't is actually range in his abilities. Very strong wave clear, very easy to just kind of push it away. Keep. I'm sorry, an Akshan.
Akshan gonna be picked up here in the mid lane for, or still all of this I guess is presumable, but I feel pretty confident with King Yeetloaf being the one to pick up
Okay.
the Akshan here, just because he does have second most games played is on Akshan, so probably going to be the mid lane Akshan here, and that is going to be a blind pick. I know that a lot of people do feel comfortable picking this just because he has that safety to be able to swing away, and it is going to be the Anivia in
Mm.
response for Haywire in the mid lane. So actually, Love Stage themselves picked this in game one last week. It's so interesting just because this isn't a champion that we see a whole lot right now.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on Anivia as a champion?
As a champion, I think Anivia is generally misunderstood in terms of her utility gameplay. A lot of people these days, when you look for a mid laner, you're looking for something very high damage, or if you're looking for utility, you're looking at something that provides shields or speed buffs, things like that. Having a skill shot stun is always a little risky, but the wall provides a significant amount. And when you're taking a look at Love Stage's team, Sivir has no hops, Renata has no hops, Mort has no hops. Akshan uh, has the swing away but can be interrupted, right? And then Diana, I mean, she has a limited number of dashes, so it's kind of a situation of if Love Stage mistimes their engage, you're fighting 5v1 5v2 suddenly. And that being said, Love Stage doesn't have very hard engage at all. It's Diana or nothing, right? So it's going to be a very interesting situation watching these two teams. I'm looking at both of them. Neither of them have super hard engages. There's no major CC. They're both going to be looking for picks. Not really looking for the AoE team fight that we saw Raijin Storm play last time with this Twitch Janna pickup. They don't have the same AoE CCs, the other same AoE. I mean, Anivia has AoE damage, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same burst damage and it's not the same CC to really let Twitch do their thing. So this is going to be a very strange match, and I feel like it's going to come down to the early advantage is the early win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head for sure, Oshi, with Love Stage, and maybe a little bit of a lack of engage for them. You mentioned the Diana, and then also there's always the Renata with the hostile takeover, but I feel like you never want to put so much on one ability here,
Mhm.
because if Islamic Samurai does get, zeroed out early in the fight, or, doesn't have the opportunity to get a good hostile takeover off, it absolutely puts them in a bit of a sticky situation. But what I will say too is for Love Stage is with the Sivir, you're always thinking about that late game scaling, and also
Yeah.
with Sivir, you're always thinking about your ability to kite with the Sivir ultimate. So if they can get later into the game, they may not actually need. They may not necessarily need to engage, but as I say that as well, looking over at Raijin Storm, Anivia is possibly the best champion in the game to punish teams that don't have hard engage, because she will just continuously clear the wave over and over again.
Hmm.
It's impossible to siege against her. And, I mean, as kind of I know both of us actually, we got two league boomers on the cast. And I feel like Anivia is a big league boomer champion just because, she was so prominent in the game for such a long time. You think about Froggen, that's kind of his signature
Yeah.
champion, is sort of, back in my day, the best Western
In the
player in the
glory
world.
days.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, so excited to see that as well, and be on here with the former boomer who actually respects the history of this game.
I have to say the fact that we can look back at Froggen being the best player in the game, playing in Nivea, in the era of Deathfire's grasp existing, is phenomenal. In the
True.
era of LeBlanc's ultimate cooldown being 7 seconds at level 6, like
It's
it's
true.
absurd.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, LeBlanc definitely used to be a fun champion. That's like right after I started playing the game, they got rid
Oh.
of Deathfire Grasp, and I remember playing, my first few normals, and understanding right away why that change was made to the game.
What do you mean I can just press a button, deal 200 damage, and now you take 15% extra?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it was
I
silly.
mean, yeah, but no, I mean, and even like if we think about the way that the game is most recently involved or
Yep.
evolved with Riot wanting to, add even more
Mm.
durability, it does make champions like Anivia even more difficult to take down. And even if you do kill her, she's got that second life for herself as well. Not to mention this Janna that's going to be involved and all of that fun stuff. But when we're looking at, I am just taking a peek at the ProComp's pregame guide for this, and y'all can't see this right now, but I wanted to just talk about a little bit about what they were suggesting here, which is that for Nameless Love Stage, they're suggesting a split push based strategy, which would
Yep.
involve Mordekaiser breaking off from the team a little
Mhm.
bit. Definitely makes sense. Same with Akshan as well. They can have a 1-3-1 sort of setup there, emphasizing communication between team members, and also the vision advantage as well. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That makes me I love that is my favorite part of Pro Draft is talking about the importance of vision and making sure that you have the advantage when you're playing a split lane comp like this. I talk about it in every single series that I
No,
do.
for sure.
I say, look, you'll see there's no wards here. It's going to be a tide turner, and it's always such a major factor that so many players overlook.
Yeah, and especially as we sort of see two compositions like this, sure, Mordekaiser and Gwen both get, are kind of bruisery, especially Mordekaiser, type champions, but neither of these teams has a true tank who's really able to,
Yeah.
walk, face check into those bushes, during objectives. So there's going to be a huge emphasis on the side of both of these teams, to be the first ones present as those objectives, so they can get down that vision and not put themselves in that situation. But before we jump into the game here, Oshi, just based on these drafts, we talk about it quite a bit. But do you have a prediction for me for this game one? Who do you got?
So just because we're talking about the vision, that's where my mind's at right now. And I was just thinking, really, the vision game is going to come down to this Kane, right? Can Sutek manage to get in, use the wall advantage, get around the wards, kind of play that sneaky game that Kane is really good at? If so, if that Anivia gets going, that Twitch gets going, or that Gwen gets going, the split push is over. Right, you can't. You talked about how difficult it is to siege into an Anivia. They're not doing a 5-person siege, but that Anivia can sit at tower and farm away and completely shut down half your split push. If that Gwen gets ahead and can 1v1 your Mordekaiser, there goes your other split push. That's it. That's all it needs. So unless you're going to be diving in Anivia, in which case you better hope John is not around. Um, I'm definitely looking at our red side here right now, but I don't want to make any solid calls just because you never know.
Hear you. I hear you. We never want to be, it's hard to be wrong. It's hard to be wrong. I understand. No, both of these teams definitely looking really strong with these compositions. And just before we get into the spectator delay, I wanted to mention once again that we are sponsored here on this stream by Pro Comps. It's the first of its kind drafting tool that is aimed for competitive, which is what we're doing right now, or solo queue as well. Play. Pro Comps allows the user live feedback, like we were talking about right now, and analysis on the draft, which gives you recommendations on picks, notes on the matchups, analysis on the enemy team's win conditions. And these features allow you, the user, to gain an edge on your opponent and crush them with your drafting skills. And now, remember, we got a new code. So listen up, everyone.
New.
Uh, Class, use the code CCS. It's super easy to remember. It's the name of this league, CCS, for 50% off your first 3 months using the tool, which is a big deal. Also, right now the this is a European company, so the cost is in euros. Euro is pretty low right now, so it's the best time to get that value. But we're going to jump into the spectator delay, which is now a little bit shorter because of this wonderful time talking about this sponsor. And we will be back in just a moment with game one of Nameless Love Stage against MNG Raijin Storm. We're ready to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CCS Wednesday Platinum Division. We got Nameless Love Stage on the blue side, taking on MNG Raijin Storm over on the red side, and we got Wupong and Haman Karn coming in as new players on this roster. Yeatloaf02 and Islamic Samurai have been sort of the mainstays so far, so it should be interesting to see how Nameless, how their communication kind of functions with these different players.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like you mentioned, the communication is one of the big things. We talked about at the very start the importance of vision and communication, just in both of these team comps. So it's kind of going to come down to the do they have it or not, right? We don't know who the IGL is for this team. We don't know if the IGL is someone that's been swapped out. That's a super important thing. I mean, you can have 4 players who played together for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, but if you swap out the IGL as that fifth player, I mean, the whole world can fall apart because they're just not used to reacting to that individual.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't personally listened, of course, to the to the in-game comms from Nameless Love Stage, but I will say that 02 is the captain of this team. Also, just a player who has a ton of experience in competitive play, playing in a lot of other leagues as well. So I would imagine that a lot of the sort of communication and leadership, as you're referencing, is coming from this bot lane, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's able to be followed efficiently if you don't have that familiarity, or if other members of the team also sort of play a role in it, because I know that for a lot of these teams, communication can kind of be a very shared effort. But up into this top lane, or sorry, go ahead. This is no kills.
No, I was just gonna follow up with the exact same thing that you were saying, and it's also a case of trust, right? If you're new to a team and you have an IGL, you have to trust that IGL, and sometimes that's gonna slow your reactions, is because he's gonna make a call and you're gonna go, but is that really the right thing? Because you're not really used to hearing it from someone, especially if you used to be the IGL. Bot lane here, just some tussling. Lack of a better word, and that's all we're gonna see.
Yeah, both teams just going for some trades, but they're going to be, I think both sides going to be fairly happy with how that does turn out. And with both of these range supports, even though Renata does have a little bit of range or engage capability, pick capability, not really sort of that all-in potential that you see from something like a Nautilus, like an Alistar, so not as much. They're happy to kind of take these deeper trades.
This level 3 top lane, though.
There's not that danger, but Top Dream is going to be in a little bit of trouble as King Yeatloaf has arrived at the top lane with Haman Khan, and they're going to dive under the turret. Yeatloaf is going to take a turret shot, which does a lot of damage this early, but not enough to take him down because he's able to swing himself out to safety, and that is a nice roam coming through from the mid laner of Nameless Love Stage. Picking up the assist, kill credit going over to Haman Karn.
That is a massive level 3. It sets him behind very few. He's down 2 CS in the mid lane. Does not fall behind in CS basically at all. Picks up a full assist, gets the push top lane, and burns both summoners from Top Dream. The Ghost used in the actual gank, and then the teleport used to get back to make sure he doesn't miss too much CS. And all it cost him was his own Ignite, which, quite frankly, you're fighting an Anivia. What are the odds you're ever going to use that there? That's wonderful, wonderful team and character knowledge, just saying, we have the early stealth, let's get in here and just force some summoners, let alone get a kill.
Yeah, and we spoke to the strength of the team composition from MNG being their ability to, continuously push in these minions with Anivia. But, that is, of course, going to depend on Anivia actually getting level 6, so she has access to that Glacial Storm. So, Yeatloaf, just, as you said, good knowledge of this matchup, good knowledge of his own character, taking advantage of the fact that he's a little bit stronger, and able to get those roams off early when it's possible. And speaking of those roams, he is going up onto the top side again.
Yeah, Kane is there this time, though, so it's not as free of a visit.
Okay. Sutek is going to spot him out now. There's going to be a little bit of damage bopped onto Sutek on that Kane, but ultimately Yeatloaf going to be spotted out, and he is going to return back to his lane, but instead it's going to be Sutek canceling the back. Looks like he just wants to help his top laner, get the rest of this wave shoved in, and that is going to be the case. We'll see if Top Dream decides to go for a recall now, as it looks like Nameless Love Stage, they are going to try to make a trade on the other side of the map with this dragon, knowing that Kayn is up top.
Yeah, I had originally took a look at it, saw Kayn up there deciding to push in. I figure, okay, no teleport. Maybe they're looking to make a dragon play. Good on Karn to be in the right place at the right time. He had already cleaned out the tri-brush. Lets his lane push bot in, and they can rotate over for a free first dragon, and not a bad one at that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's... Oh, Sutek is going to be here trying to make something happen onto Wukong, who does have enough health to just be able to walk it out. Will get tickled a little bit. Once again, by that cue from Gwen running back towards the turret. It is going to be pretty low health for this Mordekaiser, who just, long time to wait on this TP. So if Top Dream does want to shove this one in, probably will be able to deny some of those range creeps. So it'll be exciting to see if we get some more jungle action in this top lane coming up soon.
Yeah, I don't expect too much happening for the next little bit. I mean, they're both 6 now, but there's no hard CC on red side for these ganks, right? Kayn brings a bit of a slow, and Gwen has a bit of a slow, and that's it. There's nothing. So as long as this Mordekaiser keeps his health up or keeps under turret, he's just going to walk away. And quite frankly, if you go at him under turret, you're getting shadow realmed, so it's a 1v1 anyways.
Right. Yeah, and go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's going to be a bad situation for anybody who wants to try and get up there and fight, unless the Anivia comes with you.
And like the lack of hard CC, also, just kind of a lack of engage, which, we were initially criticizing on the side of Love Stage, but, I would say is even more prominent on the side of MNG, Raijin, Storm, but they do really want to play that style of sitting back, waiting for the enemy team to come to them. So it's going to be interesting to see, who's going to kind of break the stalemate here as we get later into the game, with both of these teams kind of lacking that go button that, often, especially in competitive play, these teams want to incorporate into their draft.
Yeah, it's good warding in the mid lane here, keeping Haywire alive. I'll tell you what, I have not seen any team so far in this group roam as much as Loveless. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely getting a lot of roaming action, not only from Yeetloaf, which resulted in the kill early. Oh, Sutek is going to find him around this Rift Herald, which is going to be started up as Top Dream going to jump into 3 members here, going to get the needle work off. Second proc, but is going to end up starting to go low, jumping away. But here's Karn going to get exhausted in the front line. Top Dream able to jump over the wall, but the flash forward from Wukong going to pick up the finish here. Karn trying to get the last hit on finishing for Pyke, will get healed by Epic Fail Guy, who's arrived, and it's time for the spray and pray, which will pick up the kill on Diana. Sutek on the backside, as this is a very chaotic skirmish in the jungle. King Yeetloaf leading the pursuit, but they are going to run back and pick up this wave, which is crashing into the turret. Lots of gold sitting there in the mid lane, going to be cleared out by MNG, Raijin, Storm as well. So at the end of the day there, what was it? Was that just a 1-for-1? It is just a 1-for-1 coming through in the end.
Yeah, bit of a replay coming in here. You'll be able to watch Top Dream just kind of gets caught in that tri-brush, ends up getting taken to the Shadow Realm. A huge play by the Diana to really bring the health bars low. Easy cleanup, and then you watch Karn just get too cocky. There's the badge flash into the Summoner heal and Tornado, taken down by the Twitch in the end, ending up being that 1-for-1 trade, like you said. Okay, that's how it goes.
And it feels bad for Karn on the Diana there. Popped the emote after fishing for Pyke, failed the flash over the wall, only to get outplayed outplayed, quote unquote, by the heal from Epic Fail Guy coming through. But so far it is, you mentioned the roaming Oshi, and I think from both teams, seeing that many members showing up to a skirmish, 8 minutes into the game, that does show, kind of a level of communication and coordination, and also just kind of experience in competitive play versus solo queue, where, it's all up to you, and you got to kind of hard crush your lane. So that does bode well for what I'm excited to see here later in the fights. But
yeah, this is that right there is the strength you were talking about with this pick. The action just swings away.
Oh, and Haywire is going to go really low. Does have the, I believe still has the passive
Egg.
available, but did choose to use the flash. That is going to keep him safe. And now they are going to start to push into the mid lane a little bit. 3 members strong here for Nameless Love Stage. So we have a 1v1 on the top side of the map. Not going to amount to anything so far. And the Kane is pretty good at taking these minions out, but a little bit risky going forward. Meanwhile, though, Epic Fail guy free farming in the bot lane on this Twitch is feeling pretty good.
Yeah, not really much of a lead, though. Even with this wave,
True.
only up 10, 12 CS now. I mean, you're going to take it as blue team here, because what did it cost you? Almost to kill mid and your second dragon? Okay, fine. Sivir's a power farmer in the mid to late game. She presses WQ and 50 waves die. It's fine. They're not going to be too concerned. What they need to pay attention for is if this Twitch gets to the point where they can start doing what we're watching Akshan do. Yeetloaf is doing a great job roaming and using that stealth to his advantage. If we see Epic Fail Guy getting to do the exact same thing, there's a big turnaround that's willing to happen. Renata Glask doesn't really have a whole lot of ways out. Sivir, you can only run so far after you've already started getting shot. So really going to be interesting to see. More importantly, though, I'm waiting for Yeetloaf to get a little too cocky, feeling himself a little too much, and try to solo tower dive this Anivia, because he's been looking for it several times.
Yeah, definitely has been trying to look for those one-on-one outplays, which is frustrating at this point in the game against Anivia, who does become so hard to kill. And even if you do, you got to do it again. But I do think that Nameless Love Stage is kind of waiting for the point where they can get King Yeetloaf over into the side lane and transition the Sivir into the mid lane. Maybe that will create a situation where they can, you know, get some more plays going on, have a little bit more split push happening. But as it stands, it is just a 400 gold lead for the red side. But Sutek maybe going to be feeding that back here, as he is going to use the ultimate on Kane to buy himself a little bit more time. Isn't able to get over the wall, though, and it will be Haman Karn picking up his second kill of the game here on his first performance with Nameless Love Stage. And Nameless looks like after that they are just going to run away.
And you know what? That was after they picked up Rift Herald as well. So on top of everything, they managed to pick themselves up a Shelly. They took full advantage of, you guessed it, the vision that they had in the enemy jungle to pull in, find that Kane while he's in the middle of a wall, pick up that kill, and it cost them nothing at all. They're going to get first tower. Look, that's 4 plates that are going to go down right here. Not even Anivia can save it. Not even Janna's shield can save it. It's come and gone, and Harman Kard a little low.
Oh, it's going to be the flash forward from Sutek, and it will be the hostile takeover, though, coming out as a disengage, and that is going to dissuade them from coming any further, but it will be first turret for Nameless Love Stage, and King Yeetloaf is going to remain in the mid lane for now, but just as I was mentioning, they do get that mid lane opened up, which means that they can start to transition. But just as Oshi was waiting for, looks like Yeetloaf is going to be caught a little bit out of position, but here Fishing for Pike is going to flash forward, and a little bit whiffed there on the Janiment ultimate as it saved Yeetloaf, and meanwhile Diana came in to pick up the support from MNG Raijin Storm, and that's going to be a 1-for-0 for Nameless Love Stage, and got to be kicking yourself if you're Fishing for Pike.
I understand what he wanted to do there. Every support player has had that exact vision of, I'm flashing under tower and pushing you back with this. So no, he pushed him sideways. He missed it just that little bit. Ended up getting full turned on him. You hate to have it happen to you, but as the Diana, you love to see that. That is, you know what? I can't even, I was going to come up with a fish pun, but quite frankly, hook, line, and sinker jokes just aren't going to fulfill it right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that, you know, does again feel really good getting more gold onto this Diana, which certainly does snowball very, very hard. And the Janna play feels bad, but, you know, it's one of those things where if he did hit it, it would have looked really, really cool. And it's kind of, actually, now that I think of it, it's kind of like with the Lee Sin, it's like the support version of the Lee syndrome. Like if you're fishing for Pike, you're sitting there and you're like, and it's like in the background, my mind's telling me no, my body. my body's telling me yeah, and then you go for, and then and then you just erase it from your memory after this game until so that you
It's
can
just,
do it again in the future, of course. But
I can't
anyway.
help but picture fishing for pike sitting there going, "Mom, I'm insect. Mom, I'm insect."
But I mean, yeah, I mean, you gotta, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So, but as we check in here on Islamic Samurai getting caught out, but he is going to be able to walk it out. But we do have
Oh
the third
no.
dragon coming up. Haywire going to flash over the wall. 13 seconds on this third dragon, which would be very, very big for Nameless to be able to pick up this soul point, start to threaten that mountain soul, which would be really big in this game. Mountain, definitely one of the more powerful ones, and they are going to have priority here, and they are going to just start hitting it. Haman Karn, though, is going to be looking for an engage. That's their smite, so not sure. This is where communication is going to be key. It's going to be the hostile takeover coming out to start it, but Top Dream not taking very much damage into the front line, but doing a lot as Wupong going very, very low, but King Eatlove is going to be the first to fall in the fight. That's going to be the double kill from Epic Fail Guy, but the health bars on red side are going low, but 0-2 still alive, and as well as the Twitch, too. And now it's just going to be Haman Karn and Wupong left, just two on the side of Nameless. They're going to get taken down, but look at that! The damage coming back, traded. It is just going to be one alive left on both sides. It looks like the Islamic Samurai came back, but Wupong was on a ward. Double buffs on Epic Fail Guy. Will he try to finish this one off? No, he's not going to test his luck. Is just going to run mid lane instead. And a very, very close team fight there. I couldn't keep track of it myself, and that's supposed to be my job in this game.
The long and short of that team fight is Twitch. Twitch was left alone in the bottom for just free firing on the front line of Nameless there. That is the dream. That is everything you want. 5-0 suddenly. Picking up that blade, probably going to be going and looking for the Kraken Slayer, and now we're right back at it, 5v5. Wait, okay, there's the teleport. Now we're 5v5.
We are right back where we started, just like Deja Vu all over again, but this time it was MNG Raijin Storm starting it off the dragon. It is at about just half health, as both junglers are in this area. Anivia got the Glacial Storm trying to zone out as the dragon did releash, and it is going to go below half. There's no engage here from either side. We're really seeing that right now as Top Dream is going to start to zone off the enemy team, and it is going to be Sutek picking up the dragon, but now the hostile takeover going to come out. Fishing for Pike will fall to the Diana, and Yeetlove trying to swing himself away to safety, but no, he's not able to do so, and it's going to be Haywire picking up the kill credit now. 2 kills for none. Dragon also going to MNG Raijin Storm as they get everything in that engagement.
Forget the kill credit. Haywire gets full dragon credit. Oh my god, we got a brawl down here between the junglers as well. Twitch is close by, might decide to go over. I guess he's just more interested in farm.
It is Twitch, making his way down.
I was gonna say, your jungler's dying, dude. Like, come on. But no, respect, they just walk away. But ultimately there, Haywire, look at the build. The tier is at 300 plus stacks. He's got the Lost Chapter in there as well.
Oh, we are going to see a dive. 1v3 here from Haman Karn, who's being so aggressive. And it will be the shutdown gold going over to Sutek on the Kane. 1v3 under the turret. Haman Karn not able to make it happen, and that is going to be a big bit of gold going over to the jungler from MNG Raijin Storm.
I just want to give credit where credit's due to Haywire here, but
You may not.
He had an incredible wall placement to let them get Dragon down to half in the first place, and then had incredible ult placement to complement the wall so that even after it was at half, there was no possible engage. Wupong couldn't get a pull in because he was stuck behind the wall. It got to the point where Yeetlove had to go all the way around Blue Buff to try and get down there, and when he did finally get around, there was a Janna standing there in his way anyways. Absolutely wonderful team gameplay to secure that Dragon for Raijin Storm. Everything we wanted to see. Twitch 100% protected in that fight yet again. 5-0-2, picking up 2 assists, or 1 assist that time of the 2 kills that came out. Huge turnaround. Absolutely incredible turnaround. I think there was a 4 or 5k difference before that first fight, and now we're 400 gold apart with almost even kills. this is the fear that needs to be put in Nameless Love Stage's eyes, in their heart even, right down to their very core, if you will, is this Twitch. Because this is a filthy little rat that is going to burrow through your entire team if you do not shut him down fast.
And before this game, when we were highlighting the team compositions that have been run by this MNG Raijin Storm comp, you know, they did have this Twitch Janna. The rest of the team composition was different, but this bot lane, you know, did stay the same. And, you know, of course, whenever you have a champion like Twitch, it's putting a lot of stock into your AD carry player with those hyper carry champions. If you look at actually the other series that MNG Raijin Storm have played, Epic Veil Guy, he's played the Zeri, he's also played the Aphelios as well as the Senna. So the name of the game for this team is, you know, putting it all on your late game scaling AD carry. So, you know, some of that maybe, you know, again, some of that difference of 5 players who are, you know, somewhat accustomed to playing with each other. I know that I think week 2, Sutek did come in to replace their jungler as the starting jungler, but you know, they lost week 1. Sutek comes in week 2, they win, and they're looking very organized here. So organized that they're going to start off the Baron, but Nameless does have knowledge that this is happening. We'll see what they can do in return.
Yeah, Nameless has had so much vision this entire game that just kind of trying to force start this Baron, I don't really like it. You're not going to get them funneled in the way that you want them to. I don't know what to expect here because Yeatloaf is on an incredible flank.
And
they walk away.
Usually turning off the Baron requires you to have, you know, some ability to start the team fight off of the Baron or, you know, find some kind of pick. But given both the vision that's been set up by Nameless... Oh! Yeatloaf? We haven't said his name positively in a long time, but he is going to flash over the wall here from Anivia, and I think he is going to be able to pick up the kill all the way through the passive, so that is what we were talking about in the side lane, able to run that Anivia down with the hook shot, and Yeatloaf going to be able to jump away to safety as well, so that is going to be a win condition for Nameless Love Stage in this side lane. Who is going to be able to answer Yeatloaf?
I had just finished saying that he had an incredible flank, and then he played it out perfectly for his own benefit, getting the kill on that Anivia. Shelly getting that charge, and no plates to be taken, but that tower is not long for this world at this point. And that's exactly what you were saying about the action. Terrifying. The stealth is wonderful. Slightly more permanent than Twitch's, which is kind of awkward, if you will. But let's see where we end up here, because it looks like everybody wants the dragon.
Yeah, it is going to be the dragon focus here. It will be started up from Nameless Love Stage, so keep in mind that this isn't the soul for either team, so it may not want to, you know, throw the whole game base off of it. It will be the hostile takeover coming out. That's just going to be totally whiffed as it doesn't hit anybody. Sutek in the pit. It's going to be a smite fight, and it's going to go over to Nameless Love Stage, but now the fight has broken out as Haman Khan was in the front line, but now Epic Veil Guy untouched on the spray and play with the Twitch. Look at the health bars go low as Yeatloaf trying to make something happen, and 0-2 finally going to get zeroed out by Top Dream, who does end up falling, but now Haywire going to go down as well, and it is going to be another fight turning slightly on to the side of Nameless. And this is exactly what we saw the last time too, as it is going to be 2 champions limping away from each side. I guess Epic Fail Guy both times is, you know, I don't know how to describe what mice walking on 2 feet, but you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
I don't know what I'm saying. Here's a replay.
Yeah, it's the same brawl that we saw last time. Just incredible gameplay to keep Epic Fail Guy left alone, getting the fight freely. Haman Karn doing everything he can to get back there, get the CC, get the pop, just not able to. The big thing that we saw there is the Akshan passive, picking 2 people up instantly, bringing them right back, right off. Unfortunately, it didn't result in anything. You love to see that passive when you're able to turn a fight or pick up an objective off of it. It's an incredible little thing, but this time they just kind of came back to life and walked back on the map and went back around to farming.
And it does make you wonder, Ochi, if they couldn't have just, you know, beeline to the Baron in that situation. I guess you still do have to be afraid of the Twitch popping out on you, so, you know, maybe that's dissuading them, but As it stands, it will be Nameless picking up the dragon. So they are now able to threaten that soul point in 3 minutes when the next dragon does come up. The Baron's still on the table here at 25 minutes for both teams. And early in the game, we saw these kind of more minor advantages coming through for Epic Fail Guy in the Twitch, and we mentioned how they were still fairly even. Oh, guess we're gonna see some flashes expended. But
That's
now
the Diana too.
Oh, it's true, and 0-2 actually looking a little bit caught out here by Sutek, but he does have a turret. As Wupong is going to be in the backline, going to pull Epic Fail Guy into the death realm, but Epic Fail Guy not going to get taken down as the hostile takeover coming out late. And look at Top Dream just melting the back line as 0-2 and Islamic Samurai gonna fall. Sutek diving under the turret, trying to get Haman Karn. He's gonna go low and is ultimately gonna end up going down. Will Haman Karn be able to survive? It looks like the answer is yes, as Yeetloaf trying to make something happen will be boomeranging all the way around in a circle and not able to finish it. So the fight does go towards the side of MNG Raijin Storm, but it's still Nameless having something to say at the end.
Yeah, but really, it was only just once again a situation of just, I mean, is that really the best option? Diving that far under, there's no need to try and kill Haman Karn there. You're not going for Baron after that type of a tower dive. You're not going to have the health left, especially after Yeetloaf, is already full health, is standing under tower. They could have backed out, pushed some lanes. Look, even after all that, they have one ward on Baron, which is the same ward they already had there. They didn't get much out of that. They got some kills. Gold, they're up, 400k, or 400 total, sorry. They turned it around a little bit, 400k, cheapers. But, I mean, ultimately, that fight was won after you killed the Mordekaiser. You could have just taken tower and been all the better off on the map control. And that's something that you see a lot at this elo. A lot is the red bloodthirsty eyes click on. They say, we got one. It's 5v4. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. He's low. Let's keep going. Oh, no.
Oh, as Sutek is going to be face checking into this bush. But is Kane. So will manage to make it out. 53 seconds still on the dragon.
Sivir ult gone. There's no teleport on this Gwen, by the way.
True.
That is down right now.
Yeah, we'll see if Top Dream does decide to go back, as we are going to see a stun coming through here. Islamic Samurai going to go very low, but not quite going to fall. But Epic Fail Guy going to get jumped on by King Yeetloaf. But again, not enough to take him down up front. And now Yeetloaf will get away, but very, very low, as now Sutek is in the middle of 4. Is Kane doing Kane things, getting a knock-up, is going to be taken into the death realm by Wupong, who should be able to take him down. He's going to get into the wall, and it is going to be the Kane falling down as Top Dream now here as well. 0-2 trying to kite his way to safety as Hayward going to flash over the wall. And Yeetloaf the ult going to come through, not going to be able to quite do enough here. So Epic Fail Guy still trying to wait in the wings.
Find yourself some friends like Raijin Storm is as a team, because all three of them lined up to block that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like we said, their team fighting has been very, very impressive so far in this game, and they are going to go onto this dragon. And speaking of impressive team fighting, Haman Karn going to have a big moonfall into the front line, and the members are going to go low, except for, of course, Epic Fail Guy. Here's the dragon going to go low, and Haman Karn will come through with the smite, so that is going to be the soul coming over for Nameless. The Mountain Soul, but Epic Fail Guy, just the absolute juggernaut. 700 gold bounty on this Twitch, who has not fallen yet in this game, has his trusty Janna right behind, and Nameless wisely just gonna run their little heinies out of there. Going to take a recall, as they did pick up what they came for, which is the Mountain Soul.
The exact opposite of what we just saw in terms of mid lane from Raijin Storm right there out of Nameless Love Stage. They came in, they picked up their kills, they picked up the dragon, and they left. They didn't overstay, they didn't overpush, they didn't lose anything excess. Sure, they didn't really gain anything excess, but that's not the point. They picked up the soul. That's really what matters here. When you're playing against a team whose entire focus, Twitch, is percent health shredding, having extra health is kind of nice. Having extra defenses is kind of nice.
And especially in a game where you know, frankly, champions are just not dying very quickly in these team fights. You know, we kind of keep harping on this lack of engagement. It's getting highlighted again and again, and it's going to be tested here as will be Nameless starting up this Baron, which does get low very, very quickly at this point with 2 marksman characters. For Nameless, Akshan and Sivir do shred through this one really, really quickly, but now it's MNG Raijin Storm's turn to show us how quickly they can do the Baron, but they have a bird that can put up a wall, and it's going to be the Baron getting low here, down to 2.5k HP as Karn is going to be in, and it's going to be the Anivia getting the final kill on the Baron, but now the fight has broken out, and the Death Realm is up as well, with Top Dream getting taken down in there as King Eatlove now finally having a big impact in this team fight, but Epic Fail Guy is still alive, and he's going to pick up the kill on Islamic Samurai. Wupong and King Eatlove just going to try to get themselves to safety and run away, but as long... I mean, I'm going to make a bold statement, Oshi, and I'm going to say as long as Epic Fail Guy is not dead, there's no way for MNG Raijin Storm to lose this game.
What you meant to say is, so long as the rat lives, there is hope.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, that's what we see in every single fight. He picked up 2 kills that time, but in all of the fights before or between that last one and the very first big one that they had, he picked up 7 assists and no further kills. He just picked up 2 additional kills. He has 265 CS at 31 minutes. This little mouse, this little rat man, whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to refer to him as, is horrifying at this point. And the most important pickup that I see in his inventory right now is that QSS, because the hostile takeover is meaningless. I called that the hard counter to Twitch. And he spent, what is it, 900 gold or 1200 gold? Countered.
Yeah, and I will say too about as it's going to be Haywire. He has been caught out several times this game, and it is going to happen again. Yeetloaf on a killing spree on the Akshan, and what I wanted to say about the QSS is it often is sort of thought of as a tax with Mordekaiser in the game as well, since it gets you out of the Death Realm. Actually, you know, I think it was like 2 fights ago maybe when we saw Mordekaiser flashing forward, taking Twitch into the Death Realm, only to have Twitch instantly QSS it. So I questioned in that moment if Wupong even saw that the purchase had been made, but you know, QSS tax has been paid. You know, whether you use it for Mordekaiser ult or if the Mordekaiser ult is already used, because Mordekaiser is unlikely to ult Twitch if he still has it, then absolutely for things like that hostile takeover. But you know, that's just all to say, smart building here. From Epic Veil Guy, who has plenty of damage, right? You know, he didn't miss out on anything, I guess, by paying that tax. He's like, you know, it's like, well, I won't get too political here on the CCS, but it's like rich people paying taxes. I mean, that's all it is. So that's
what taxes?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yep.
That's the joke, folks.
It's like getting a parking ticket. Yeah, when you're rich, you know. That's how much it just costs to park here. Okay.
Oh, that's not bad.
You know, enough of our agenda.
Well, that's not what this is about. What this is about is the horrifyingly even game we still have going here. We have seen fights go one way and then kind of go the other way suddenly and then go back again, and it keeps happening, and we are still within 300 gold of one another. This is insanity at this point in time. We have massive picks that keep coming out by this Akshan. And we're still 300 gold apart. We have a Twitch with 7 kills and a Gwen with 7 kills, and we're 300 gold apart. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it's definitely been the closest game I have casted so far this split in CCS. So I mean, that's definitely a welcome sight. I've only had 2-0 blowouts so far this split. But we are going to see that vision control being set up by Raijin Storm, and it does pay off, as it is going to be Wupong caught, and he is going to drop his ultimate, but Sutek going to be able to survive, and ultimately they are going to take down the Mordekaiser. But look at that huge hostile takeover, doing a ton of damage as 0-2 is going to get the kill on Sutek, and here's Yeetloaf trying to stay alive and make something happen, but no, it's the trusty old Twitch making it happen. I don't even know why I watch anybody else in the team fight, because I might as well just wait for Epic Fail Guy to kill everybody.
First wall sets them up for a big pick. Incredible set of plays by Nameless to keep this Mordekaiser alive as long as he does. The shield coming up perfectly, stalling it with the stopwatch. The big burst to make sure that the Redemption does not get the heal off. Phenomenal. Like you pointed out, incredible hostile takeover. Look at this flash. Boom! Rat on the other side of the wall. That is the end of the fight right there. That was the absolute epitome of finalizing the game right there by Epic Fail Guy. And now he's literally trolling by not finishing this dragon. Why? So that his teammate could spawn and still get the passive. Wonderful setup right there. But honestly, the flash over the wall is the highlight of the game at this point. We have been watching Epic Fail Guy for 32 minutes. We've been waiting for him to quote-unquote come online. And every single fight we say, look at him, he's still alive, he's doing incredible, he's doing wonderful. That was the champion. That fight that we saw right there is Epic Fail Guy as a player coming online, going full tilt, and saying, I am winning this game.
And for Raijin Storm, credit for their patience throughout this game. They did give over the Mountain Soul to Nameless Love stage, but it's kind of like that experiment where they tell a little kid that they can have one chocolate now or two chocolates later. They said, no, I'll wait, and they didn't take the one chocolate in the short term, but in the long term they do pick up the real prize, which is that Elder Drake, and they are going to take down the Baron as well. But there is a little bit of a split push on the other side, on the butt of the map. That is a turret picked up for Nameless. So, it is nice to get a little bit more gold in their pockets for their team. Try to get some of these items finished up for these last team fights. But we'll have to see, what's their plan for getting on this Twitch, because they need to have one.
Yeah, so far this Janna pickup, it was second pick, right? Yep. Well, I guess first pick technically, right? Because it was the first round. Either way, first round pickup of this Janna has completely countered the entire team that Nameless drafted in terms of trying to get onto this Twitch. No one has been able to get anywhere near him without eating a tornado or hurricane, one or the other. I'm really curious as to why there's no engage here. That is
and now we are going to see an engage coming out with a hostile takeover, and Akshan doing a lot of damage, but it is going to be Top Dream picking up a double kill. Epic Fail Guy going legendary with the kill onto King Yeetloaf, and that is going to be the last turret. Haman Karn is going to be the last one alive, but just going to be limping back into his base, going to get walled off, and that's the last BM kill. Oh, I love that execution sound from that Elder Dragon, and it's going to be MNG Raijin Storm going one game up in this series.
It was a little late to the party, but that was the dream setup with the action right there. All the way behind the team, getting right back onto the Twitch. And earlier on, when Akshan had the gold lead that he had, that may have been it. That may have been the dead miss. In this situation, he was able to survive just long enough for, you guessed it, Janna to turn around. Out comes the tornado, up goes the Akshan, and down comes the corpse. Absolutely phenomenal fighting by both teams ultimately, but Raijin Storm had the better draft for the fighting style that they carried. They played it perfectly. Like you mentioned, that analogy you used with the kid and the chocolate was flawless in this situation, because Nameless, they took the one right now, and then at the end of the game, they're going, why did he get two?
Yeah. Exactly. Might be a little bit whiny in between these games, so I would advise, maybe giving him a nap or something. I don't know. We're dad joke, two dads on the cast. Yeah, heads up. But we're gonna give you a little bit of a break from that. So we'll let you recover. But when we come back, we are gonna have game 2 of Nameless Love Stage taking on MNG Raijin Storm. We'll switch it up, so MNG Raijin Storm will be over on the blue side. We will be back in just a couple of moments, and I will be happy to see you at that time. Hello, everybody, and it is the moment you've all been waiting for. We are back for game two of Nameless Love Stage, taking on MNG, Raijin Storm. There's a lot of teams in CCS these days, and they all have such fun, unique names. And some of them are not, or are actually not unique. Like there's PG Raijin, so
PG, right?
it's a fun memory thing, kind of game. I think it's probably means that I won't get Alzheimer's or something. But
Or
we're gonna get into the draft here. As we do have the band starting to get underway. But as we do, I do want to just take a really important moment for public service announcement to acknowledge that Oshi was right about the outcome of the first game. He did correctly predict MNG Raijin Storm to win. So we're just gonna. Sorry, I can write you out a certificate here while we're going through the champ select. But
just don't tell my wife.
oh. This is
No,
public stream. Anyone can watch it.
I'm not allowed to swear.
On this
As we saw before, picks and bans going absolutely swift right now. 3 bans through 8, exactly what we expected to see. These are just the main characters that everybody plays on. But is that Belveth, the third one?
Skarner.
Skarner. Okay, the image didn't load properly for me,
Oh
so it's
yeah,
very, very awkward trying to see that. Let's pull this right down here.
yeah.
Try and fix
The
this up for
bottom draft
myself.
block.
My apologies. Okay, much better. So yeah, we're seeing Udyr first pick, which I'm never a fan of. I like Udyr as a last pick jungler, under the assumption that the opposing team doesn't have, everything that counters mobility. Um, Looks like Love Stage wants to play the Twitch this time.
Okay. Yeah,
I
it's gonna
mean,
be. Go ahead.
when you don't have bans, picking it works too,
I mean,
right?
yeah, that is that's one strategy. And I also will say that 02, the 80 carry here for Nameless Love Stage, is particularly known for his Twitch play. So
Mhm.
that would make sense. As we are going to get the Pike hover once again, and this time we are actually going to get it locked in here for fishing for Pike. Going to be able to pick up their namesake there on that champion, and we got another
No.
spicy hover. Please,
I
please,
t-
I'm loving this.
he told me before game 1 that he was going to play Heimerdinger bot. I said, "Bet you won't."
Let's do it. All right, epic fail.
Heimerdinger
Yeah.
Pike.
Ah.
Okay. Pike Draven into the Twitch.
Mm.
This is a set of characters that will shut the mouse down fast, right? We saw what Akshan was doing around the map. We can expect very, very similar things to Pike. Draven has the ability to get away just with the W speed boost, with the knockback, knock aside, with the E. He's got the wonderful global-ish ultimate as well. A Galio pick into 3 AD characters is interesting.
Yeah, Galio definitely. We do tend to see that kind of as a counterpick to the magic damage because of that Galio passive. But I will say that Galio is heavily played by Islamic Samurai in the support role, so it is a flex between close and Islamic Samurai, between the mid and support. I would expect that it is going to go into the support role, and Galio is good, sort of with that, as counter engage or kind of just peeling with the taunt as well as the knockup. And against Draven Pike, that's definitely something that you're going to need because, as you mentioned, Oshi, if Draven Pike gets ripping and roaring, which they often do, it can be really hard to shut this duo down. Normally you think of it as sort of a solo queue special just because of the 2-on-2 domination
Mhm.
that it can bring. But recently we've even seen T1 playing this with Gumayushi and Keria picking it up,
Yes.
and having a lot of success on it too. So just goes to show how powerful it is right now. And yeah, Twitch. We saw last game how MNG Raijin Storm, their win condition on Twitch was having that patience to
Mhm.
for Twitch to be able to pick up an item, be able to pop out later in those team fights. But they're not gonna, Raijin Storm isn't gonna allow their opponents that same luxury.
Not just that, you are seeing the exact opposite style of team build around a Twitch. The first time that we saw
True.
it in the last game, we saw Twitch as the protect the carry kind of composition in the style of everybody falls back. The engage kind of happens, everybody takes a step back, the Janna shield comes out, the hurricane comes out, everybody just balls in on this Twitch and keeps them backwards. That's why the Anivia wall was there. This time you're seeing the exact opposite. They want you so concerned with your own backline that you ignore the Twitch. The Nocturne is going in whether you want him to or not. The Galio's coming over the top on top of the Nocturne. Gwen's going to true damage her way through whatever the heck she feels like and dash through the rest while being invulnerable at that. This is horrifying for your backline, but it's still Draven. Draven doesn't care. On top of that, look at what else Raijin Storm's bringing. Udyr is actually wonderful in this situation because of how quickly he is, the fact that he can basically stun anybody just by walking up to them. Pyke, wonderful engage and counter engage possibility for AoE CC if you get too far into the backline. Yone goes where he pleases. Gragas does what he pleases. You want to jump on the backline, you have an AoE stun and an AoE knockback just akin to the Janna, slightly different and going to do a lot more damage.
And so we'll have to see what Nameless Love Stage decided to round their composition out with here for the mid lane, presumably, and it is going to be the Corki locked in, going to be
Ooh.
going against the Yone. So that is more, more strong scaling. There are going to be those two huge scaling options between the Corki and the Twitch combined there. But I do have to say, Oshi, when we talk about this Galio Nocturne and even Gwen, diving into the backline and being that terror, the question becomes, what's going to happen to the Twitch and the Corki, in their own backline? Are they just going to be left to be the fodder for, things like Udyr and Yone, who are going to be able to get right back there with their own gap close as well? So a little bit of inconsistency, I guess, in my opinion, maybe coming
No,
from this Nameless team comp, but
no, I don't think
let's
so. Honestly, because I already listed off how the Nocturne's getting in, how the Galio gets in, how the Gwen gets in. Corki's got package, man. He's going to be in the back line too. He's not in his own back
that's
line. He's
fair.
in your back line. He's going to be in there with the rest of his team, and then it's Twitch alone. And what does Twitch have to do? Solo a Yone, right? Yone's got to get to him first, and Yone's got
Yeah,
to
that's
get to
true.
him, and he's going to fight him for a bit, and then his ability is going to time out. If he doesn't kill him, he's going to pop back, and the rest of his team isn't going to be there anymore, right? So this is really going to come down to who gets ahead. And once again, who has the vision. Because if Love Stage can get into the right situation to where they can get all of the ult combos in when the only person on vision is Gwen, it's terrifying for Raijin Storm. If not, well, it won't be as bad because, quite frankly, in a straight up, we're in mid lane in the dragon fight situation, I have a lot of faith in this Draven, in this Yone, doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and as we once again we're waiting looks like we're waiting a minute to get into the client draft here. So hopefully we can get on the screen here the pregame guide from ProComps just to center some of our analysis
Oh wait, it'll be this way.
around that as well. Um, but oh yeah, I flipped it the wrong way. It looks like so, but you could see so the blue side is over where the red was for the draft. But we could see as far as their recommendations for RN or MNG Raijin Storm, talking about having a little bit of or having the pick comp sort of
Mhm.
approach, I guess I'm trying to say, as well as the split, but the pick comp approach really sticks out in my mind for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just by picking up Pyke alone, that's exactly what you expect, right? You expect a little bit of the invis roam, some pulls, some big assassinations, spread that gold out nicely. Same with the Yone. He's going to chase you down over a wall. He's going to be a big threat just to an individual, let alone in the AoE situations that he's also going to be able to provide. It's honestly kind of terrifying what you're looking at on this red team because playing the pick and the split are two very different styles that can complement each other very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Splitting up the team and kind of, I guess, sowing a little bit of fear, not so that people are kind of ends up running around the map like with their head, like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to respond to these split push options. And definitely we will see that, I think, primarily probably from Haywire on this Yone. And this has been a champion that Haywire did pick up, I believe. It was in their matchup. It was in their matchup week 1 against Omega Gaming. They did lose that one, but Omega is one of the stronger teams for sure. One of the 2 Omegas, I guess, in this overall conference. You got the Omega Gaming and Dorado Gaming. Omega,
Omega
not to be
Dorado,
confused.
Omega Dorado Gaming, Omega Gaming.
Something like that. Something like that. I guess one thing
uh,
that I do want to touch on is for the second straight game, we are seeing a Gwen, which has been
mhm.
my pick of choice for those of you who saw my pentakill clip that I recently posted in the community content channel. Go check it out if you have not, and you can learn how to play Gwen.
Make sure you
But
join our Discord.
enough of that. Yeah, join our Discord, I guess. I mean, I join my Discord and look at all my league highlights. No, but I think Top Dream taking this Gragas, which has been a steady pick for through even the end of last season as well, but it has been picking up steadily with more of kind of a hard AP approach to this Gragas top
Mhm.
lane. Picking up more of that damage style build, which is more of a kind of again league boomer moment. Kind of makes you think of that Gragas mid of old, which does
Ara!
in which it doesn't really matter if you actually hit your ult in a good position because it just does like 1 billion damage. But, I think for Gwen, typically this is a pretty good matchup. Just because she does outscale it pretty hard. So Basting coming in wasn't able to make it to game 1, and Oshi, you mentioned this. This is the D3 exception player for
Yes.
Nameless Love Stage coming into the top lane, and he's going to show us he's going to try to show Top Dream how Gwen is really played this time around.
Yeah, we saw Top Dream on the Gwen last time. Did very well in the mid to late game. Did not have the easiest time early game. We saw the level 3 gank come in from the mid lane. That action invisibility doing what it does best. Not just picking up the kill, but forcing out all the summoners as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Basting pulls around here. Obviously expecting significant amounts of damage out of the Gwen. But like you said, a lot of the Gragas players have been opting for this AP build. I would almost expect him not to do that in this situation, just for the survivability and the CC being able to use the body slam multiple times in a fight if possible. Really just making sure that he doesn't get bursted initially, because if he is one of the main targets at or one of the main focal points at the start of a fight, if the Nocturne gets on him, gets that fear and pops him, maybe spell shields the ult even before he can manage to do too much else, it's going to be a bad fight. It's not going to go well for Raijin Storm. So that's one of the major factors that we're going to have to pay attention to, is how he builds, how they play around how he builds, and in turn, who is the hyper carry going to be coming out for Raijin right here. We know to watch the Twitch, we know to watch the Corki, we know to watch the Gwen, but ultimately what it's going to come down to is the CC stacking from the one side. On the other side, what do we want to come to expect for the One, for example? Is it going to be the Draven? Are we going to see fishing for Pike do what his namesake is all about?
And last game, Haywire was on the Anivia. Was caught out a few times, but ultimately able to kind of do his job, sit back and clear those waves. It's not going to be the same on the Yone. Definitely going to have a little bit more responsibility in these fights as far as pushing buttons quickly and in the right order goes. But we will see these teams get onto the Rift. It is a 1-0 lead in this series for MNG Raijin Storm, who's going to be storming onto the Rift in just a couple of minutes after this spectator delay. Reminder that my name is Elsa the Queen, and I'm joined tonight by Oshi. Having a great time so far. Game 1 was a banger, very, very close. We're hoping for that again in game 2. Don't go anywhere other than maybe to get a snack and then return. I'll be okay with that, because we'll see you when you come back. Hello, everybody, and I really mean everybody. Welcome to those of you who were watching CCS2. Welcome to CCS, the original version. I am Elsa the Queen, joined here by Oshi, and we are happy to be casting Game 2 of MNG Raijin Storm on the blue side, taking on Nameless Love Stage on the red side, and we have already got a little bit of a spicy invade possibly coming out here with Gragas leading the charge here. Top Dream did start off on that Q, is going to pick up that 13 gold, I believe, was it? Yep. Ooh, that sweet first strike gold in the pocket of the Gragas. Going back to buy is nothing.
Gonna go buy nothing. Literally nada, zero, zilch for his time and effort there. Close isn't even gonna go back. He's just gonna recover it all. Okay, cool. At least we saw something level 1 this time. The biggest thing to make note of is that blue ward on the red buff. So they are going to know for certain that that is where the Nocturne is starting. Otherwise, 2 red wards in the river there, making sure that nothing silly happens early on. This is the world we live in at this point. Nothing spectacular yet.
Yeah, just going to be... Oh, they are going to spot out that ward. So that will be, first of all, basting. Correction. Sorry, basting about my mispronunciation earlier. Oshi was right as usual, but is going to be some crucial experience. Also, going over to the side of basting, who should be able to get an advantage off of that, given that both top laners did a leash. And as Haywire misses the Q there in that trade, we're really going to have our eyes also onto this bot lane early on. And speaking of that, fishing for Pike. Nice. Little hook, bending it around the minion there. You know, showing why that's their name, as Basting does get the early level 2. Doesn't look like there's going to be any Albin potential, but will take control of the lane. And this Draven and Pike so scary early on, but for now it looks like they are just going to be pushing in the wave.
Yeah, this is everything that you want to see when you're playing this lane down here, right? You want to see these Pike Qs hit. Even if you're not getting kills, or even if your ADC isn't getting hits, it interrupts them. It's some damage. And honestly, when you're on that side, it becomes a huge mental barrier. It's like, I got hit by 6 of 6 hooks in lane. This is insane. This guy's a madman. He doesn't miss. And then you stop managing to dodge them yourself. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, Haywire having an okay time, but it's not going to continue going well as this Corki levels up.
Yeah, and Corki going with a little bit of a, disrespectful start here with the tier early on. Not going to have very much health, but we do have a little bit of an engagement in the jungle here. It looks like as Wupong is trying to... I'm not sure. Camera is not panning down, trying not to change it. But yeah, here it is going to be the Udyr taking down the blue buff. But Wupong is here as well to answer. That's going to be Sutek. Where are you, my friend? Very low. And Wupong going to flash himself to safety. Not sure if that was necessary, but it will be the first blood picked up is by Islamic Samurai of all people on the Galio support.
I understand what you want out of that Sutek. I really do. I can appreciate the thought. You're saying, I'm Udyr, I've got a quick clear, my bot lane has priority. They weren't with you. I don't know if that was a communication thing, or if maybe he was saying, I'm going in, and they said that's a bad idea, and he did it anyways. It happened. First blood went over. The only major benefit there is it went over to Islamic Samurai. Sure, 2 assists went out as well, but the majority of the kill gold on the first blood went to the support. That is honestly ideal because, like we were saying, this is the Galio. The magic resist passive. Oh, this is a bad spot.
Oh, and it is fishing for Pike. Gonna be get the hook spell shield, but now Epic Fail Guy gonna be left for dead, but he's gonna be able to flash away. Islamic Samurai gonna be able to, or dying on the other side, and it ends up being Epic Fail Guy somehow not going down, and now it's all going over to the side of MNG Raijin Storm. It looked like it was even at first, but that was not the case, as it's going to be a 3-0, and all of a sudden an 1100 gold lead for MNG Raijin Storm, which is, I think, more of a gold lead than we saw for like 20 minutes last game.
But there were like 30s, 40+ kills in the game, and we had a 400 gold difference in game 1. It's 3-1, and there's 1500 now. That's honestly hilarious to me at this point. But what we saw there, like Sutek, you gave over first blood. That was bad. But we saw it go exactly the other way. Wupong got greedy, pushed into the enemy jungle, got caught in the exact same situation as at the buff. Good rotations came up. Epic Fail Guy managing to get out there with a sliver of life was great. But then what we really saw is the power of the Udyr, able to chase down and not just do the damage over time of the Tiger Stance, but also the major burst that comes with the Phoenix and the stuns and the move speed of the Bear. We're getting to watch it again with Fishing for Pike in the right place at the right time.
And there's not really more to say than that.
Oh!
Still nothing. Yeah, all right. So that is going to be 2 more kills. Going over to the blue side, a solo kill in the mid lane here for Haywire's Yone, and then it is going to be another pick found, which we did talk about as being so crucial for MNG Raijin Storm with this composition, fishing for Pike. You know, facilitating a lot of that. Now Sutek is not done. He is in this top lane, but Gwen looking pretty dangerous. Does have the ultimate available. No mana for Top Dream as Basting going forward. Doesn't quite have the damage. One more auto attack would have done it. She has Q in 1 second, and she has it in time. That's going to be snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, that
Gwen
was
cutting through him.
Very tough situation right there to be not at all what you want to see happen. I understand, again, Udyr going up there because, you know, his top laner is low on health, low on mana. You want to provide some support. You need to just pressure the Gwen a little bit and walk away. That was incredibly well played by Basting, showing the experience and knowledge of the character and of the situation to say, no, I'll turn this instead. Didn't run away, didn't do anything outside of exactly what he needed to.
Yeah, and especially with Top Dream there, you know, ultimately having enough mana for 1 ability, I believe, at the end. You know, if you can land, you got a mid lane. Mid lane got a big trade here. His close getting very low, but you know, if you can CC that Gwen multiple times in a row, then you can kill her. But speaking of killing, there is another kill onto close, who did have the flash available, did not expend it. And without his mid laner, Wupong is not feeling up to the fight in the mid lane, and will just go over to his Krugs instead.
So that kill in the mid lane is what anybody who plays FPSs would call an ego challenge. 100% an ego challenge by Haywire right there, played out perfectly. He said, I'm flashing, are you? And didn't give him time. Now we see bot lane.
Oh, it is going to be an all-in on the Epic Fail Guy, but his friends have arrived as Sutek. This gank is going to work out a lot better with the help of Fishing for Pike. Islamic Samurai going to go low, and they're going to give over the stacks to the Draven. Epic Fail Guy picking up his first kill credit of the game, and is going to find himself up almost or over 1,000 gold ahead of the Twitch.
I went and checked the exact same thing. I went, what was that cash in worth? And 1,000 gold. Again, mid lane, huge fight. The ultimate going down. Haywire just kind of brawling it out. Snaps back.
Okay.
Top?
Okay. And we're not going to get to see what even happened because we are too focused on the mid lane. But there we go. Oh, he's got it. Oh. But now bound to the bot lane, we do have the Nocturne ultimate coming out from Epic Failed Guy, who uses the cleanse, but it's not going to be enough. Wukong going to be the one picking up the kills. Islamic Samurai going to dodge out on the hook for now, but now going to get stunned up by Fishing for Pike, who has a 2-level advantage over his counterpart in the support position. Haywire going to go Haywire under this turret, gets the knock up onto Wukong, but isn't going to be able to have enough time or probably health due to the turret to finish that one off. But it is just a stranglehold on this game by MNG Raijin Storm. It took them a while in game 1, but game 2, they're feeling confident. They're feeling ready to go, and they are already 4.1k gold ahead at just 9 minutes in.
An absolute bloodbath in those couple of seconds right there. We saw in every single lane, and now Sutek coming into the mid.
They are going to try to go under the turret for him, and they will be able to do it. Sutek going unstoppable. He doesn't care about the turret as Udyr just going into that turtle form, picking up the extra shield.
We see Bear, we see Phoenix, we see Tiger, we see Turtle. Ultimately, Sutek is playing this Udyr in Mundo form, because he is going where
True.
he pleases and doing what he wants. He has absolutely no regard for towers, no regard for enemy champions, no regard for mere life existing in this plane beyond himself.
And you know, I mean, I will say for Sutek making that mistake top lane, ends up with the 1v2 kill picked up by the Gwen, but to just come back out as this Udyr and just continue to be relentlessly aggressive across the map, I do definitely applaud that. I think it's easy as a player to get discouraged from trying to make those big plays after you get punished. But Haywire, speaking of punished, was pretty far up in this mid lane. Islamic Samurai is going to be able to pick up the taunt, but is going to be enough damage as Haywire has now been ignited. It has to expend the ultimate, and Wukong is here as well, so they are going to finish that one off. But here's Sutek is going to get the stun. Wukong flashes after he gets stunned, is going to be the execute picked up by Fishing for Pike, who now does have that reset. If they do choose to look for it, they are going to still hover around this mid lane. It looks like they are going to take it pretty easy for now, as Basting now looking for another 1v1 in the top lane, one level down, trying to get that gap closes. He's going to get the dash over the barrel. Q to come through in a moment. Is it going to be enough damage? One more auto. E to come out. Just Gragas have E. Oh, gonna be a trade of, yep, 1-for-1. Oh
my goodness. It's nail biting all the time, and now we have the Nocturne diving into the spot lane, flashing away.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to let you breathe for a second, but I can't do it. I can't do what you do. I can't do the play-by-play.
It's fine. I mean, as I was just saying, I'm, color caster brains, thinking about this golden, things. I hear you there too, so I appreciate you giving me a break. But now it is going to be Sutek again finding Islamic Samurai, and he's going to pop the ghosts as he wants to run this golem down. Fishing for Pike is there as well, and is going to kill Secure right there as the Pike. 3-0 and 5 on this pick, and it does, I mean, let's be honest, this RNG team is starting to look pretty scary across the board. But this Pike is particularly a concern once he gets that ultimate off on one member and is potentially able to reset.
Yeah, that's really going to be the devastating thing if a fight ever comes in. This is a 5-1-0 Udyr, by the way. He is going to just stand in front of every single skill shot this Corki decides to try and throw out. This could very easily be a trade, I'm assuming is what's going to end up happening here. Haywire exhausted, going in on 0-2. The Twitch is so weak, though, unable to sustain, ends up going down. Haywire looking for a 1v3 triple.
No.
Picks up the Galio as well, and there's a kill in the top lane that we didn't get to see a dang thing of because of the auto camera. And here we are with Sutek picking up Shelly, and bot tower also probably going down. What did we just watch?
We just watched a team that has a 7K gold lead, and like almost none of it centered in the top lane, I believe. Well, like 500 gold. So, that even just kind of magnifies how much of a gold lead there is elsewhere on the map, as it is going to be Haywire getting jumped on by Wukong. Is going to be able to dodge out on the knockup from Islamic Samurai, but is eventually going to go down. As Corki going to pick up that crucial gold, but not sure if it's going to matter at this point, as Sutek is going to run in here as well. Fishing for Pike, maybe going to look to fish for a hook here, as they are all looking so squishy, but it is going to be the CC coming through as Fishing for Pike going to go very, very low. Ignite is burning. Sutek trying to make something happen. And this that was kind of giving me flashbacks to last game, where all the characters are just kind of like running around in circles.
Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you about anything right now. We keep seeing brawls everywhere. They very nearly go one way. They end up going entirely the other way. But quite frankly, the biggest thing that we have to take stock of there is every single one of these fights is basically one, if not two people down for Raijin Storm. Like, MNG are just going absolute god mode in these fights, saying, we don't need our whole team here. In fact, we only need one person here. Haywire picked up a 1v3 triple kill in the mid lane there, just bursting everyone. I expect to see Epic Fail Guy doing something similar. Sutek knows there's people here.
Okay. Limit testing here from Sutek, who is going to end up going down, running in a 1v3. So that is a step down for Twitch. As Basting here just starting to punish this Gragas into the top lane. And even though these fights have been close, I do anticipate this starts to get easier for Gwen. But wait a second, because Haywire has arrived, and he's a really, really strong Yone. Is going to end up picking up those last hits. And I kind of gave a challenge to Haywire coming into this second game. Oshi, I said, the Anivia, all he had to do was sit back. What's he going to do now? Well, I mock myself for a good reason, which is that Haywire, but the real question is, can he outplay this Nocturne in the 1v1? Is going to go pretty low, but still hasn't expended the ultimate, but nice spell shield also from Wukong. It's just going to be neither of them dying, but the turret top lane will fall for Yone, who continues to just be very, very strong in this game. Looks like has enough gold to finish item when he goes back, but now close.
Close just getting run down by the Udyr here. Sutek doing exactly what we said, just playing Mundo mode, doing everything that he pleases. Here's fishing for Pyke, using the stun over the wall. Flash for the hook, gets the execute as well. Unfortunately going to die because of an incredible knock-up and taunt by Samurai, who then also goes down. Top Dream doing wonderful tanking. Everything that you need to do to keep your jungler alive. Look at the kills
here comes 0-2, though. He is going to try to pick up Sutek here. Uses the exhaust. Will the poison to be enough? Ticking down. No, it will not, as Top Dream trying to get a piece of him as well. They are both going to just handshake and walk away. But meanwhile, Epic Fail Guy was staying down there, being loyal to the bottom side of the map as Draven in this game. Hasn't really been that, center of the stage Draven that we love to see, but you take what you can. You take what you can get if you're Epic Fail Guy.
Center of stage Draven. Boo. It's everything Draven wants to be.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, look at him, though. 147 CS up to the 108. He's down a kill, sure, technically. He's up 1,100 gold solo on that. Of 8,000, oh my goodness, it's 8,000 gold now. Only 1,100 is him. This mid laner is a 3,300 gold difference. Let's see what happens here. The Yone ulting over the wall. Really, this is just going to be a big delay here. Look at the push down mid lane that's coming. Looking for a trade even at this point. Haywire.
How long can he stay alive, though? He's going to pop back, and he will end up trading his life, but it's 1-for-1-0-2, picking up the last hit under that one, but now the Rift Herald has arrived into the mid lane. He's going to charge Basting, though. Nice job to pick up the kill onto that Herald, so it wasn't able to go any further. The turret will ultimately fall, but they won't be able to get it to charge into the base on that inhibitor turret, as they're clearing out vision here in the topside jungle. I almost wanted to say for a possible Baron start, but Oshi, it's 1750-1 here, so it's not quite time for that one yet.
In case you guys weren't keeping track, which at this point you probably should, this is 22 kills in 18 minutes. That's what, like 1.2 a minute, just about? I don't know. That's quick maths, and you should never do math on stream, but here I am. This is horrifying. It's 32 kills in 18 minutes is disgusting enough. The fact that 22 of those 32 are on one side, that's just scary. That being said, though, the Draven scales, obviously we talked about that. Gwen is doing Gwen things. Gwen is 40 CS up. What are we looking at? Actually, Gragas is ahead in gold. That's going to be a lot to do with the towers that have come through naturally, and the 3 assists difference there as well. But Gwen is just going to scale, and Gwen is going to become terrifying because Gwen is not going to burst like everybody else is on his team thus far. That is the big turning point that we're looking for, which is entirely why I expect to see Top Dream do top things.
0-2, though, is going to get caught out and hooked up and is going to get taken down by the death from below, as Basting is going to trade the turret on the other side of the map, and now a fight is going to break out here as Yone with a beautiful ult into the enemy team. The ultimate from Pyke, not quite enough to take down the Islamic Samurai, but Sutek will finish the job for his teammate as they're onto the inhibitor turret. It's pre-20 minutes, but who cares? They've got nothing better to do as they're onto the inhibitor. They're going to take that one down, and then they will run, presumably, go pick up this Ocean Dragon, which will put them at Soul Point. There's no win conditions being left up on the board by Raijin Storm. They're just taking everything on the map for themselves.
You wanted a Baron call 2.5 minutes ago, and by golly, you're damn near about to get it. I mean, that mid inhib is down, bot is going to be pushed in. There's a wave stacking. They're just picking up the Drake here. What's left for them to play if not the Baron at this point? And why would they not? You said last game, when you force the Baron fight, it's because you want to turn, you want to be able to force that engage. And quite frankly, Sutek is just walking at people and forcing the engage. Fishing for Pike is batting 1,000 on these pulls. Why would you not be doing that?
They are, yeah, just you know, I guess being a little more cautious. I mean, I agree that now is sort of the time, right, to limit test. As nice little barrel coming over the wall, gonna take a nice chunk out of close, and now there you go. Baron has been started up here as it's just 30 seconds after the spawn. Looks like the entire team, other than Top Dream, is here. Top Dream does have the teleport available to join in, but there is knowledge of this being started. Islamic Samurai getting the ward. Speaking of Islamic Samurai, they're going to jump on him over the wall, fishing for Pike is first, but now going to get CC'd, and the Pike will be shut down by close, and they're not going to dive into pit now, basing the first one to come in. Here's the Galio ultimate coming through, going to get the knockup onto Sutek, and it is just a slaughter for the side of Nameless Love Stage. Now Top Dream coming in with the teleport, but it is too late, man. You needed that like 10 minutes ago, as now it is still 5 alive for Nameless, as they're going to dive onto the Udyr, take him down, but the Baron is still alive. It's at 800 health, and Gragas not gonna get the steal. Instead, it's Wukong of all people. I mean, I guess the jungler, but on Nameless, picking up the Baron, and that's a turnaround that we did not expect to see.
Dignitas.
I don't know what to say.
Dignitas. For those old heads in the crowd, you'll understand the Dignitas Baron reference, because quite frankly, that was a throw.
Yeah.
They used all of their major engage and CC tools on the Gallia, which is the support. You should have known the rest of the team was coming. You had more than enough damage to burn it down. If you stayed in the pit with the Yone there, let the Pike go out and mess people around. It's fine. Ultimately, incredible steal right there. Huge tide turner. They brought the lead down by half from that steal right there. Let's see what kind of, to steal the term, power play they can pull here with the Baron in their pockets, because these pushes aren't going to be going too far right now. There's no real objectives left on the map. This red team has to get out there, get some vision, and stay alive.
Okay, Basting is trying to take this 1v1, but Haywire just, the healing is so powerful. But now Wukong is going to try to jump in. It's no longer a 1v1. It's a 1v3. And Basting's going to have the last laugh, picking up the kill as the Gwen. So that split push pressure is going to continue to, be something that Raijin Storm needs to take into account. And with the Corki and Twitch continuing to scale, both having picked up two items at this point, that does start to become a concern if you are Raijin Storm, especially for this team that was Oshi so dependent in game one on the ability of Epic Fail Guy to carry those team fights as the Twitch, the last person alive. That's not going to be the same with this Draven, who's much more about the upfront burst, not about that long-term sustained damage. And I think that, I myself was fooled here. MNG, Raijin Storm just looking so dominant, but I think, even though they are still ahead, they're starting to sweat a little bit.
Well, it's what we tend to see a lot in this league, I would say, is a team gets this lead and then they start kind of feeling themselves just a hair too much. We've used this term this type of term far too many times, of just being too brave, things like that, right? You pick fights that you can't finish, which is what we saw in that bot lane. Haywire went in deep, just about killed Basting, but wasn't actually able to, and then it got turned on its head. Super unfortunate, but that's what happens when you, to steal your term, limit test. You find your limit sometimes, and it's not where you think it is. That caused him to die, and quite frankly, what the big thing there is the globals.
And now we are going to see another fight, as Nameless is going to be the team in control of the vision here behind this dragon, which would be the soul The Ocean Soul, very, very powerful possibility here for RNG as Sutek trying to do his thing and run at the enemy team as Close trying to get away, but he is ultimately going to get stunned. But also, Top Dream is in the backline. We got a lot of AoE damage coming here. What can Haywire do as this on this Yone as he is forced to jump back, and now Sutek in the backline, but not able to finish a kill. And once again, this team fight just goes so far onto the side of Nameless Love Stage as they do take a 4-for-1 advantage. Close, the only one going down. Haywire, the only one left alive on the other side. Dragon going to Nameless, and they're going to push the mid lane as well.
Watch the positioning in this replay right here. You see the Udyr do everything in his power to force his way onto the Corki. The Corki isn't the one we keep saying you have to be afraid of, it's the Twitch. Nobody gets on the Twitch manages to stay alive, outputs consistent damage, shreds through the entire team. As soon as Raijin Storm thinks they have a leg up, their entire front line pushes into the back line where Gwen is standing waiting for them, dealing shredding true damage to them with the needles. And then, and only then, does the Nocturne ult his way back and destroy Epic Fall Guy. The Draven just did not stand a chance in that fight, and that was the end of it. There's no AD carry, like you mentioned. He's not putting out the continuous sustained AoE damage that we saw from the Twitch in the last game. Big fight turn right there. Everything went their way, and guess what? Only 2k down now.
Yeah, and, you know, as Haywire is going to be looking for this one-on-one on Close, has a big advantage in this, but it is going to be the TP coming through here, must be from Basting, who is going to arrive and has the needlework available. Will force the ultimate out from Haywire to survive. So it is going to be the TP burn, which is a major cooldown for Basting on this Gwen, who would like to have the ability to sit in the side lane and split push, but probably has to group right now with the team anyways, just because the Gwen is such a big part of why this Nameless Love Stage team is strong right now. So, and I think too, I mean, I could talk about Gwen for the rest of the game, but Basting has been really, really big for starting these team fights as well. You don't really think of Gwen as an engaged champion, but she does have that needlework with the slow. And now that her ultimate's changed, such that even if you miss the first one, you still you still get the second one. No worries on that. So you do have like those multiple chances to slow down the enemy team and gap close in, and that Gwen is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger in this side lane as the game progresses. Level 16 is a huge point for her, getting that 3rd rank in the needlework.
Exactly. One of the things that I would love to see, I'm looking at the Draven items right now. I mean, I expect to see an Infinity Edge coming in next, classic Draven build, but I would love to see a Hurricane pickup. We talked about the lack of continuous sustained damage, doesn't have the spray and pray to shoot straight through people. Oh, he gets dove on. Why when I'm talking about you?
Epic fail guy. Maybe with an epic fail of his own, caught out there in the mid lane. And a lot of times when you see bad decisions like what happened for RNG at the Baron, you kind of get the hopium, as the Baron is going to be started up here again by Nameless, and then after that, it just switches right back to the way the game was. But Nameless has grabbed some momentum in this game, and they just have not let it go. But RNG, they don't want to let go of this game either, as 0-2 is going to get just destroyed by Haywire, but that's not going to do anything about the Baron, which is already low, and Wukong will be picking up the smite onto that one. But meanwhile, look at the top lane as Top Dream on this Gragas, not a fast split pusher, but he is on the turret. Will they be able to stop the backs? No, as Basting does recall into the base. Will the remaining members be able to escape as Islamic Samurai gets stunned up? And Basting, he's just going to be able to run down this Gragas. This is the situation that you want to be in if you're this Gwen. Gragas never has enough damage in a million years. He might be able to get away.
Ooh.
Yep, he will.
Okay, the Glacial coming through right there, being the main difference maker. Well played by the Gragas to just get out alive. Did have to burn the flash, but that's straight out for the Gwen's Ghost, so be it. Good gameplay by Haywire and all as well to keep people away. That is a wasted Nocturne ult.
Yeah, so the Paranoia drop, not used?
Yeah, I think he might, I don't know entirely. Oh, you know what? He's probably trying to scare Haywire off.
Oh,
yeah,
but he cannot do so.
Nope, that was a called bluff right there. Good play by Haywire, picking up another kill. But here's the thing. What do they get out of it? These picks are, okay, cool. You get a bit of an influx in gold here. Oh, this will be different,
okay, they're going to go for the kill on 0-2. Haywire has had his number all game long and is going to go on a rampage. So now this is the sole point. And Haywire is going to pull 3 members over here. The teleport coming in as well, but will he be able to survive for long enough? Is going to snap back, but there's still full health bars on the side of Nameless. His top dream just TPs in to die. They're going to run him down eventually, maybe? Or maybe he'll be able to... Nope.
No.
Wukong eventually going to get there. I'm looking at this dragon, which is going to spawn in just 18 seconds. Remember, that is the possibility of this soul for...
That's entirely where everybody needs to be looking right now. And this is the thing. They know it, which is why I'm okay with this push camp. They know 100% that the push is going to come through this bush or very close to this bush. Here comes, speaking of close. Speaking of close, here they all go off the blast cone. Big stun coming out.
Oh, here's Sutek. He's going to be able to catch Close, who has been in the wrong spot fairly often, but nice. Zanya's Islamic Samurai is going to get a 4-member taunt there with 0-2 on the other side of the wall, getting tons of damage, but Sutek has found his man with Top Dream following up, but here's Basting arriving with Top Dream, going low, fishing for Pike, grabbing the hook, but it does not matter as there is so much left on the health bars of the red side here for Nameless Love Stage. They do start off this dragon. Sutek is around the area, though. Could potentially look for a steal, which would be huge. Would grant them the soul, but Udyr not. Doesn't have any way to get over the wall other than the blast cone. So he's trying to run around in circles, distract the enemy team, but Haywire having to snap back. And it's going to be Sutek doing what he can. But
it was written from the fight, right? It was a decent fight. They got the pick on close. I appreciate what they were going for there. It would have been smarter, in my opinion, to just go burn down the dragon, right? I said at the time, I like what they're doing. I understand it. Unfortunately, they were playing a team that was ready for it. You mentioned the stopwatch. It was great. The Galio ult came in. The Grand Entrance was flawless right there. The biggest thing, though, is Haywire was dead. Or had died. Haywire was not with them. They did not have what is one of their major sources of damage, both continuous and burst, in this Yone, and he didn't have teleport. He had to walk all the way back from base, which led to that entire fight overall being a 4v5, which they lost. And now, again, after every fight, I mention the gold. It's closing piece by piece by piece. They're under 2K now. As they pick up a couple of these small objectives, it's going to just keep getting closer. And what are we looking at objective-wise? There's still over a minute till Baron. There's almost 4 minutes till the next Dragon. This is just going to be straight-up pushing and fighting, which is everything that Love Stage wants at this point. Nameless is... They have scaled. That's the thing. We talk about scaling. They are there. They have reached it. Last game I talked about when Epic Fail Guy as a player came online. Love Stage as a team in the entirety has come online right now.
Got a big 1v1 happening in the bot lane, but now we got a team fight happening here closer to the mid lane, as well as Basting is going to be the one to push Haywire off of this top lane turret, which is very, very important. These are two of the, probably the two strongest side lane scaling champions here that we have in this game. And you talked about scaling, Oshi. We are at 3 items on all of the carries, 4 items for Basting, and now we're going to have the go button from Wupong, who's jumping onto Epic Fail Guy in the backline. Will be forced to use the flash to get himself to safety, but now Haywire are going to be jumping forward as the Yone snapping back just in time, almost going down, and now with 45 seconds left on the Dragon, Nameless looking to back off into their base, maybe pick up some wards, up some items from all the turrets that they just, all the objectives, turrets and kills that they took down. And we saw at the start of that fight, Wupong, just able to kind of flip the switch here for Nameless at the start of these team fights, going in on the Nocturne and kind of dictating that engage. And, Oshi, when I think about it, as far as comparing the first game and the second game, each game, the team composition that has kind of the clear objectives, either, take care of the Twitch in the backline, game 1 from MNG, game 2 from Nameless, get that Nocturne into the backline, follow up with the Galio. I mean, that just seems to be the name of the game. Know what you're doing in these fights.
Exactly, and even more than that, I'm taking a look at these Nocturne items right now. He's sitting just short of 3,000 health and has built
Mm,
full damage.
yep.
On top of his own spell shield ability, he has the Edge of Night. Um, More than that, his ult's back up. By the way, in case you were curious, he can just soar into the back line again. This thing has, he's what, a 61-second cooldown right now. A minute. That's 1 minute. Their fights are lasting longer than that half the time. So there's never a moment where Epic Fail Guy can't be terrified of this Nocturne. Nobody on his team can help him.
Yeah, and it just emphasizes once again, the vision that both of these teams, need to have, having the ability to not only, for MNG knowing where the Nocturne is, so knowing when they need to expect that engage, but then also, even more importantly, maybe for Nameless Love Stage and Wukong on this Nocturne, if you do not have vision of your enemies, you cannot cast your ultimate on them. Um, and We had a little bit of a pause, but we're going to jump back into it. Looks like we just had a little bit of a lag issue there. But we are hopefully back and good to go. But 35 minutes into the game, it's fishing for Pike. We are going to get our classic post-pause lag. It's
It's like a bad hangover.
Yep.
Let's be honest, it's just like a little hangover.
I feel like it's a thing for like casters that you just like have to say instantly, like, it's fine, this is a normal thing that happens every single time. So
game improves, we're still here.
Mostly. Oh, Islamic Samurai is going to get hooked. But now we're going to see that Nocturne ultimate drop, but Haywire into the backline himself is going to take down 0-2 before that ultimate can come through. And is this finally the fight for MNG? But Basting is saying no, no, no. Still at full health here on this Gwen, just ripping through the enemy team, and it's Top Dream and Sutek still alive, trying to maybe get back there and do something to the minion wave. But it looks like Sutek trying to run into the base, maybe looking for some kind of backdoor on this inhibitor here, as it is going to be Nameless doing the Baron. So I think, Sutek feeling like probably he would not have the opportunity to steal that one anyways, as Udyr. So just going to trade this inhibitor. So hasn't taken it down yet, though. This is going to be pretty close because the Baron empowered recalls.
They're not even recalling. They're going to Dragon.
Yep. Yeah, they're just going to run straight to Dragon because there's no minions. I mean, there's like 3 minions, but not a substantial enough minion wave.
Yeah, there's no end coming for sure from that push by Sutek. But you know what? Trading one inhibitor, okay, you got something. I respect it. I appreciate it. It's good.
Yep.
In that team fight, the biggest thing that we saw right there, though, is what happens when you have a team with 1 minor threat versus a team with 3 major threats. Because, yeah, sure, they managed to get, Haywire got back on the Twitch, got the kill off, the spray and pray was aimed the wrong way half the time, didn't do much damage, but that's okay, because as you called, Gwen shredded everybody. And you know what? After Gwen was done, the Corki came in. Close got to do what his namesake is. He ended the fight. He came in, he shut the doors, that was it, 4 for 1. Actually, 4 for 1, I believe is what 3 for 1 was the final kills there. And the Baron afterwards. And now what we're seeing is Pike at level 13, by the way, to Basting's 18. Even his direct rival is 16. Epic Fail Guy, 2 levels down. Haywire, level up, not a surprise. Sutek, 2 levels down. I mean, this is horrifying compared to what we were seeing a couple minutes ago. And hey, guess what? There is a 400 gold difference.
Very, very thin margins in this game, even though it does feel like Nameless has, firmly held on to this momentum for quite some time. We do see that those Baron buff minions coming down the mid lane. We got the one cannon minion busting down onto the turret, and we see Basting, in the top side as well, trying to push that wave in. So we'll see. Oh, as Haywire's going to look for an engage. 3 members knocked with that Yone ultimate, as it is going to be fishing for Pike into the back line with Sutek as well. And the Nocturne ultimate finally drops, fishing for Pike. Gonna go low, but look at that. It's still Wukong. It is still Basting. They're not worried. They've still got full health bars. And even though Epic Fail Guy is still alive, Looks like Sutek, oh, they want to make something happen now. 2v3 here. Epic fail, guys, so close, but now top Dream was able to flank on this Gragas. I can't even keep track of this fight. Sutek is going to be able to get in, but Basting still the strongest member on this map. Gonna take down Epic Fail Guy, no problem. This Gwen has got plenty of tank, plenty of damage, and she is going to feel content to run over to this top lane where it looks like they should be able to take down the turret. The minions got it for them. They are going to be able to grab the inhibitor as well. And Basting coming in after not being able to make it for game one and just making a huge impact on this Gwen all throughout this game, clearly being a huge leader in these team fights.
I would adore to give you a hard time for how much time you spend talking about this Gwen, but I can't. I have to respect it. No, because Basting has earned it. Basting put in the grind early on in this game and did exactly what we said they had to be terrified of. Came through, scaled, stacked, built. Look at the items on that monstrosity of a top laner. We thought this was just cut, dry, easy, open, close game for MNR or MNG, sorry, but nope, not at all. Nameless love to do what every single color commentator loves to do. They said, we will not go quietly into the night. And they want to see a game 3.
They absolutely do, as 0-2 going to be walking into multiple members here, but a nice stopwatch to avoid the engage from Top Dream, who is going to stopwatch himself, and now it's going to be 0-2, going to be caught out and will end up going down as Fishing for Pike is able to survive. Basting, though, that's going to be the next run to watch. Still at full health, doing a ton of damage here as they want to get this Gwen. They are going to be able to focus her down. Will they be able to take her down? Stopwatch to keep her alive, but here's Haywire has arrived into the fight, is finally going to be able to get the shot down on Basting, and I don't know if anyone else have the damage to do it, but here Corky has arrived to answer me as Wupong gonna be taken down, double kill. Haywire, they don't have enough, and against all odds, it is gonna be the mid laner of MNG, Raijin Storm, finishing out the fight. Sutek there alongside him as well, finally gonna pick up eventually this last kill onto the Galio. That should not be the end of the game quite yet, with 0-2 spawning in just 14 seconds. But Haywire, yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough because they are, running. Yeah, it looks like the inhibitor has respawned, so they'll try to go for that one.
Yeah, and pick up that mid inhib if you can. Only the 0-2 is going to be left, is going to be coming in here. I don't think he wins that 1v1, let alone that 1v2.
We've seen it many times.
For the end?
They are going to push it through.
Okay, this is massive. Oh, they're going to pick up the Twitch kill as well.
Oh,
that is
4 seconds on Basting. TP coming through.
I think this is it. I think they did it. I think they turned a single fight.
They're going to turn their focus onto the Nexus here, and MNG, by the skin of their teeth, take game 2, and they win the series in a what's going to look on paper like a clean 2-0, but it was about the bloodiest clean sweep that I've seen this split for sure.
Yeah, I can't call that a clean anything right there. It was devastating in every single possible direction. I don't know what to tell anybody except, you know what? I'll give it to them. They did not go quietly into the night. They were forcefully grabbed by the face and pushed through into the night after at the very end of that game right there. Haywire played insane the entire game. He played the Anivia perfectly. He did everything that he had to do, had some beautiful walls and some great zoning in game number 1, don't get me wrong. Not a care in the world in that game number 2. And I respect the absolute heck out of him for how he played it. And then the mid game happened and he stopped. He stopped happening. He stopped really being able to do much. He'd get a pick. There was no way for them to capitalize off of it, and the game would go on. They'd have a team fight. And honestly, a lot of the time his ult was getting flashed. He was getting taunted out of his ability to attack too much. And we saw him get to do what he wanted to do in one fight. one fight after the 30-minute mark, I think it was. He only got one good fight for himself and was devastating, did everything in his power, and ended up finishing the game. We thought there was no possible way they could end off of that, and they proved us entirely wrong. And I'm so glad that they did because what a way to take it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a very, very, very thrilling end there, with Haywire just kind of taking them over the line in that last fight. But I think we're just about ready, or I'm just about ready, Oshi, to get into a little bit of an interview. So
Ooh.
I was gonna pull in a member of MNG Raijin Stores. I got it. No, I'm a professional, and by that I mean it takes a second, and then I pull somebody in. So here we go. We're
It's
gonna do it.
happening.
Hopefully
It's
this works.
happening.
All right, and we are joined now by Epic Fail Guy, the 80 carry from MNG Raijin Storm. First of all, confirm that I'm correct, that I pulled the correct
Yes.
person, and let us know how you're feeling after that game two victory.
Oh, that was a banger for sure. I mean, I kind of thought it was doomed. I won't lie. And then Haywire kind of just 1v9 smurfed on everyone that last fight. And in VC, we're all literally just screaming at him to run it down mid and end the game.
Yeah, I was saying I have a lot of respect for him going for the end there instead of just going to pick up the second inhibitor, but the moment the Twitch stepped a little too far forward and he picked up yet another kill, yeah, it was pretty cut and dry at that point. Um, I gotta ask, what was going through in the second draft there? You guys had such an incredible time with the Twitch in game number one. You played wonderfully on it. Your team supported you incredibly. Game number two, you kind of stepped away from the hyper carry role into the Draven. Were you guys looking to just fight front to back a lot more, or what was the thought process?
Yeah, I mean, like, we Udyr B1 obviously, and when I see them pick Twitch, I'm like, okay, like I can punish this early, right? It's like not a very good laner by any means, so we're like, okay, we pick Udyr Pike Draven, and we just run it down at them and fight any chance we can early, which we did, and we won early game pretty well. So that was kind of process behind that, and I mean, yeah, just win early and then throw the game at first Baron and get your mid laner to drag you out of the hole you dug yourself in.
Check, check, check. Yeah, all according to plan.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
just how we wrote it up.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, Epic Fail Guy. And I did want to ask, MNG Raijin Storm coming into CCS for your first split in this particular league. I'm wondering if you could, tell us a little bit about the background of your team and how long your members have been playing together. I see, as recently as the lock-in, it looks like you have a different jungle and support, but certainly your team looks like they have a lot of synergy. So, do you have a lot of experience playing with the other members here? And like what was the catalyst to form this team?
Yeah, I mean, like we're a pretty new squad to be honest. Like we've only been playing with each other for a couple months since lock in, but we've had a few roster stuff. Summer, so people are going on vacation, so we've
Right.
had to like sub some people in and out. But I think like kind of the core roster slot has been kind of put down and worked its magic so far. But we still have a lot to improve, and coming into our first split being power ranked like 29th or something kind of hurt our egos a bit. So we're here to try and show that we are stronger of a team than originally thought.
Let me tell you what, if you guys can carry on the first half of that game into every other game that you play, you will show people a heck of a lot of things to be afraid of. You guys had, what did we get up to? I think it was a 8K gold lead at one point in time. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying in the initial there. And yeah, sure, you pulled a Dignitas, so be it. It happens at Baron Pit. We've seen it in everything from gold and plat leagues all the way up to world finals, even of League of Legends. It's something everybody has to go through. And you said after it happened, you personally thought the game was doomed. What was the rest of the mood like? And first off, who's the IGL, and how did they handle you guys feeling a little low after that?
I think our jungler is very vocal, so he's calling a lot of shots out. So I think, I mean, like even though I thought it was doomed, I'm never just gonna like fully give up on a game. Like I'm gonna,
Of course.
keep at it, keep trying my best until our nexus explodes. But I think we just kind of went into that game being like, okay, let's just do the best we can, try and keep this close. At least that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I'm really running it, but our jungler really just kind of like the voice behind the team that tries to wrangle the monkeys to get in order.
And in in the end, it looks like he was able to wrangle you into order. Definitely could kind of visually see that at the end of the second game, like with leading the charge up mid. But I want to let you go here in just a second. But I did want to ask you, just kind of leading up into the next few weeks that you have here. Week 6 and 7, I'm looking at in particular. Obviously not for a couple weeks, but you're going against Moonstone in week 7, and then Hard Hat Zone or Moonstone, sorry, in week 6, and then Hard Hat Zone in week 7. So you kind of have your schedule is sort of backloaded as far as those difficult teams kind of being at the end. How confident do you feel about making the playoffs in this Wednesday conference? And do you think, like, where do you think you're going to be able to go if you make it there, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, we played both Moonstone and Hard Hat Zone in lock-in, and
Oh,
obviously
true.
a lot of
I
time has
casted you
passed
against Moonstone.
since then. So, I mean, they're both good teams, and I think, if we continue to practice and improve like we have been, I expect us to make playoffs and to make a run at going deep is what my goals are for this. And I just hope everything goes according to plan.
Understandably so. I have to say I can expect a Yone ban coming your way in the future after the way Haywire played that. Um, is there anybody that you wanted to say thank you to before you take off?
Eh, just the team, honestly. I mean, thank God that we actually kept our mentals together enough to, you know, completely flip the script.
Yeah, we saw a lot of mental fortitude coming through from MNG Raijin Storm as they, I guess stormed back, I would say, in game 2 after storming ahead at first, claiming the 2-0 victory. But this was an interview with Epic Fail Guy. So thank you again for joining us and for the broadcast. I have been Elsa the Queen here, happy to fill in for Thunder, who, don't worry, everybody will be back next week. We all know him, miss him, and love him. And thank you so much to Oshi for being my color caster, bringing some sense to this game when I cannot. And as always, Mr. Fantastic for the excellent production as well. So I guess I said I wouldn't try to do my Thunder impression, but doesn't he say something else? He says, be kind, be safe, make wise choices. See you next time, CCS fans.